Yes. The four spiritualists.
Promise I'm not going to sing it. If you do, I will promise. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another speaker to speak. So as I said before, we started in Denmark this afternoon and we traveled the whole way to Sweden. Then we traveled even far to Scotland and now we're back to Denmark. So there must have been something we missed in Denmark. So by saying that, I'm welcoming Jack from Denmark to speak about healing within mediumship.
Thank you, Frederick. And as you're probably aware, Denmark was the land of Vikings, a little bit in Sweden and Norway as well. But that's a journey, you know, going around Scotland, UK and things, just like the Vikings. So we're just back here. I kind of have a helmet as well, don't I? But that's another story. But ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to talk to you about is the healing within the evidential mediumship. And you might sit there and think, what is that about? Let me give you a little example. Can I borrow you a little bit?
Of course.
Okay. So I can give Frederick some healing. Yeah?
I'm going to spare
Yes. Yes. and Frederick, while I'm healing you here, I'm aware of your mum here, you know. And your mom is talking to you here about, how proud she is of you. But she is telling you here that all the amount of money you spend on your hairdresser, you should better give that to your medium. You understand that? Because he needs it as well. The money, not the hairdresser. Okay. No, that's not really evidential mediumship, is it? It's not, or healing within, it's not what we're talking about. But what I want to talk about is that healing within that evidential mediumship. That healing that can come to both sides of life, within that house we can build, through the evidence, through the connection with spirit, through the presence of spirit, that we create through our mediumship. Just to give you a little background for why I want to talk about this. When I started 30 odd years ago in my spiritual journey, I started as a healer. Just a healer. Isn't that amazing? I know there's several healers here. Never say just a healer. Healing is the most powerful act in mediumship, isn't it? And that's why to me it's so important to have that aspect with us in each type of mediumship we're doing. What I wasn't aware of in my early years was when I was going in doing my healing, I actually drifted into a trance state. I didn't know anything about trance at that time, but I drifted into that trance state. And after done that for 4 or 5 years, something, I met a tutor that picked me out in a group and said, "Oh, Jack, can I do a little example with you?" And she talked me into this trance state. I was like, "Oh, I know this." I can see Mark sitting nodding, similar experience, yes. This is familiar to me. And spirit there. Wow, I never thought of it. Because of the lack of knowledge. But the healing I was doing over the years was amazing, according to my clients. I didn't really experience it. But what happened then? I started to I met the evidential mediumship, and for a start I thought, oh, what is this for a bunch of weird things? Looking at my language. What is this for a bunch of weird things? And I joined a summer school in Denmark that was about mediumship. At that time, I really didn't know what mediumship meant. I love to meditate. Mediumship, meditate. And heard somebody talking about these summer schools. They had some beautiful meditations there. Oh, I'm booking a week there. Isn't that lovely? Going to sit, meditate on the beach for a whole week. And there was a tutor there. I picked his group because there was something with healing with him, that he was specialized in healing. And when we get together in the class, the first exercise, he started out, okay, now you're going to make a link with spirit. You're going to talk to the death. I was like, okay, I'm out. Bye. But something made me say, okay, I'll just try to have this experience. And I was sitting together, but I wasn't that old at that time, but a lady that was a bit younger than me. I was just like, how is this gonna work? I know nothing about spirit. I know nothing about anything. I know how to heal. But the case is, this just came to me and said, just tell her what's on your mind. I just thought, oh, you know, the young lady, I am aware of, I was creating a story, I'm aware of here that your mom's sister that passed to spirit 3 months ago, and so and so and so, and I know she wear glasses, but it was only Windows glasses in them because she just used them for blah blah blah. And she's talking about all the jewelry boxes and blah 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 blah. I was just chatting away, and sometimes I can have quite a good imagination. What shocked me was when the exercise was over. I didn't have any response through this exercise. This young lady just looked at me. She just started going down her chin. And she said, "You're so precise in describing my mom's sister. Died 3 months ago. I have several bags of her glasses with the window glass in. I have all the jewelry in the boxes I'm going through." I was like, what the is this? So I became curious. And I started to look more into the evidential part of the mediumship and realized that within that evidence, with that evidence, we can build that room, build that space that allow that healing to come forward. Not even trying to bring the healing, but just accepting. If I'm working my mediumship, if I'm working honest and truly with my mediumship, and delivering those evidence, the healing can be in there. And again, can we do that every time? Probably not. I can't. But I'm becoming better and better at it because it has been a focus point for me. And I was mentioning different types of mediums before. I already talked a little bit about the trance mediumship, the healing mediumship. We also have the philosophical mediumship, and then we have the evidential mediumship. I believe that the healing can be within all of it. But for me, or today, it is the evidential mediumship I'll focus on. And sometimes we maybe have to realize that it's not always the nearest and the dearest that's coming forward to us. Sometimes it's maybe not even those we have loved. Maybe sometimes it's someone we don't really want to hear from because they haven't done any good to us. maybe the ones that only have done bad to us. But thinking about, ladies and gentlemen, when they're coming through, proving themselves, I've heard sometimes, oh, that's an evil spirit. I don't believe so. I don't believe in evil spirit. But I believe in, I think was mentioned a little bit in the trance demonstration yesterday, but I believe in that whatever we do, whatever we are in this physical world, that's a part, and our deeds we are doing here in our physical life, that is a part of our physical life. When we're going home to God, when we're going to spirit, leaving this physical body, all that is left behind here. We don't carry that away. We're having a learning experience for it, certainly, but I don't believe that we're carrying that around. So even though some people have done bad or what we maybe would phrase as evil deeds here on earth, doesn't mean it's an evil spirit. Maybe a spirit that needs a bit of healing. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? As mediums, we have a great responsibility. We have a great responsibility both to spirit as well as to people here in front of us. And we're dealing with people's life. And that's why it's important to me, and I know Lola touched a bit on it in her too. It's important to me to separate what is psychic and what is mediumship. You may be aware, but with the psychic, it's a great craft, it's a great tool to counseling. But it has nothing to do with spirit, nothing to do with mediumship as such. To me, working with spirit is very important to me that what I give to you is coming from spirit. Sometimes I misunderstand a little bit of it. I believe we all do when we're working. It's like this translation from that energy into words. Sometimes we choose the wrong words. Doesn't mean it's wrong what we say. We just phrase it slightly wrong. But if we are truthful to spirit, we should stay with spirit. Laura was touching this as well with, within my mediumship I can do a bit of psychic. Yeah, we can. It can work perfectly fine. Personally, I don't like it. And let me explain you why. Because to me, when we are working with our mediumship, I have a background as a builder. Okay? To me, working with mediumship, working with the evidence is building bricks. It's the bricks where we can build that house of healing. Brick by brick we create the walls. Yeah? Just like building a house. Aside from that, to build a proper solid wall, we need a proper solid foundation, don't we? That foundation is our connection with spirit as mediums. If we work on building that foundation, we have solid foundation, we bring the evidence to build the wall. And by having that close connection, building those walls through the evidence given from spirit, we can bring forward the presence of spirit as well. That will make the roof on the house. So in that, we have created a house wherein we have our client or our recipient, we have spirit, and we have the spirit, like a presence of spirit. And in that house, that's where the healing can go in. Not only for the recipient, but also from the one from spirit. Yeah. And think about if whilst we are working on mediumship, I just put a little bit psychic in here, a little bit psychic in there. We can put some fragile bricks in the walls. We can even move a little bit back from spirit because our awareness is going more to the sitter to put a little psychic in instead of being with spirit. That means that the foundation might be a little bit wobbly. And sometimes it can actually happen that we won't have that roof on because we don't bring the presence of spirits. So that's why it's important for me to talk about this healing, to have that fully healing to both sides of life. We can create that through our mediumship. Through being honest as a medium. When we do. Not saying it's wrong to do it, I'm just saying, to me it takes a little bit away from the beauty in mediumship. And what I find amazing is when we have built this house, it's kind of a magical house where magic happens, all kind of things. I've even expired things flying through the room because the client threw it at me, but that's another story. But trust me, it was coming out of an effect because the client had a healing going on in that moment. And to me, if I'm getting a little bit wrong from spirit, yeah, that's okay. Sometimes can maybe look me not as good as medium. That's okay. I can live with that because I know that when I'm honest in my mediumship, I know spirit will be there for me. I know spirit will be there for my clients and my recipients. And then again, we can look at what kind of evidence are we going to bring then. I think we can analyze different kind of evidence. We have the factual evidence. We have the name, the addresses, the phone numbers, and all these things. I can tell you they're great to get as a medium. Makes you look really good. It does, doesn't it? Oh, I don't have your file here. His name is Carl and his phone number is so and so, and it tells me your account number is so and so, and quite factual. And I can tell you, when I started my early years within the mediumship, I felt spirits. I felt them to a way where I said, "Go away!" And then I going on course at the college and on places, and everybody else was talking about, "Oh, I see so and so, I hear so and so." I was like, "Oh, what about me? I'm just feeling them. I'm just feeling them. Oh, sorry for me. I want to hear, I want to see." So I said to Spirit, "Come on, guys. I want you to write on the walls for me." Yeah? My thought was, write on the walls, but the names, phone numbers, all these things. I put focus on it. First time over 6 months. Every time I work, write on the wall for me. Write on the wall for me. I can tell you, actually, I managed it to happen. And what happened was, I was sitting in Folkestone doing a sitting for a lady that had lost her husband. And I was saying, okay, giving different kind of evidence, la 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 la. And then I said to the gentleman, now I want you to write on the wall for me. And as I was staring, glancing at the wall, the handwriting just came up. And I just told her what was written on the wall. It was amazing factual evidence. Yes, I'm a brilliant medium, aren't I? I'm a star, I'm a superstar, I'm going all the big theaters. But and I found different ways to get this really factual evidence. But after a while, I realized, where's my connection with spirit? Because I've been so focused on bringing this factual evidence that I kind of really didn't feel spirit anymore. I managed to hear spirit clear. All these things. Not that I regret I got through these things, but because all are part of my mediumship today. But I got to a certain state where I had to go back and say, I need to feel you again. Because something is missing in my mediumship. Something is missing in these connections. That's the power of the healing. The power of the healing that for me should be there. And how to bring that in? Yeah, different kind of evidence. Besides from the factual evidence, we have the emotional evidence, haven't we? The expression of the emotions from spirit. The emotion touched from spirit to the client. We have the mental evidence. And we have the spiritual evidence that sometimes can be a little bit fluffy, can't they? But I can tell you, none of them can stand on their own. The combination of these things is the strong building bricks. And through working with the evidence, I can trust you, for those of you that are developing or working as mediums, that would strengthen your bond with spirit. Because the only way to get that evidence from spirit is to be with spirit. Yeah. Yes. And then you can maybe sit there with the thought of, but when do we know we have built this room for healing? When do we know we have built this house for healing? Sometimes we really don't know. Sometimes it's just a feeling. Sometimes the healing is just isn't happening before the client have left. Some days after, they realize some of the things that have come in there. Going, oh wow, and that's relief. I was touching a little bit on it. Sometimes we can have evidence brought forward that we really don't know about. I know that for myself, and that probably have been some of the strongest evidence I ever have had. I tell you, I have a biological grandfather I've never known, never met, never seen a picture of him. He was not to talk about in the family. I had another grandfather that obviously not was my biological, not I loved dearly. But I started getting messages from mediums from my biological grandfather. I can't take that, I can't take that, I can't take that. But the funny thing was, he was quite a stubborn guy, obviously, because he kept coming through different mediums. Both in Denmark and over here and at the college, and from mediums around the world, actually. Keep coming back with the same pieces of evidence that I didn't know anything about. In the end, I probably rejected him in 10 or 15 times, I don't know how many times, But then I said, Now I'm getting curious. Now I need to know a bit more. So I said, yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that before. And then I started adding more and more. And this has been going on over, I guess, 10 years or something. Bits of evidence coming from here and there about my biological grandfather. And I couldn't confirm any of it because nobody in the family actually knew anything about him. Very little. And my grandma don't talk. What happens then is after my grandma passed, I started to talk to my parents about this. And my mom started, she could confirm a little bit, but my father joined us and nah, that's totally wrong, and that is not. I was like, okay, so all this, I've got through all this, that's just weird things. But then my dad's cousin did some family investigation, and that brought forward confirmation of all the things I've been given. All the things I've been given from my grandfather. Sorry. I can tell you that healing is still going on to both sides. But the case is, all these mediums as faithful spirits, they couldn't go on a psychic link because I knew nothing. They brought the evidence from spirits. I know I rejected it. I was a naughty boy, kind of. But in the end, we got there. It's not ideal to wait 10 years to get confirmed the communication that is coming through. But if we can accept to be faithful and truthful to spirits, allow them to have a voice and not interfering, I can tell you, spirits will be happy. You will be happy. And through that, we can make a difference. We can maybe even change the world. And maybe realize, as Lola mentioned, that we all are part of God here in physical life, as well as when we're in spirits. And to me, the mediumship is one of the big pillars within spiritualism as a movement, as a religion. Another big pillar is the philosophy. And then, of course, we have the healing that's kind of embrace it all. But think about, if we are weakening these pillars, how stable is our movement? How stable is our religion? So think about, where do we want spiritualism to go forward? It was mentioned in the reading this morning of Emma Harding Brayton, 150 years ago. She talked about the same things. I know others have talked about it 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. It seems like things keep coming up. But I believe that we as mediums, as developing mediums, as healers, as inspirers, work with honesty, being truthful to spirit. I believe our religion, I believe our movement have a future and have a great future. But as mentioned earlier as well, if you're not standing with it, what do we have? how should we bring new people in, especially the youngest today? They're all online, they're all everywhere, but they're also quite critical, aren't they? I believe many of you have children, have youngsters. They question everything, aren't they? And they will question our religion, our movement. So to me, it's just important, really important, that we stay with what we are. We keep our pillar strong. Otherwise, all we have left is a pillow to sleep on. Okay. So, yeah. Go. So, I'll try to round it up here. Round up here. So let's respect. Remember the respect for spirit, as well as the respect for humankind, and the connection between the two worlds. And being honest, it's okay that sometimes our connection is not as strong for several reasons. Maybe I've had a stressful day. Maybe we have had a bad stomach. Maybe we are in pain. That will all influence in our connection with spirit. It will, of course it will. But if we are truthful to spirit, spirit will be truthful to us. And they will walk with us. They will support us in our development. They will support us in our daily life if we allow them. And trust me, if we allow spirit to be there, there will be. If we allow spirit to have a voice, they will give the voice. And as Frederick mentioned, times where we don't need the translation of the power. And I believe that's the moment when we have built this house where magic happens. Because that is a magical moment where that healing is taking place. To both us here in the physical world as well as those that we love and remember in spirit. So I will leave you with these words, hopefully a little inspiration, and if any questions, please.
How can you tell the difference between what is psychic and what's from spirit?
For myself, when I'm working, I'm aware of where my attention is. If I'm working psychic with you, I will have my attention on you and your energy. If I'm working with your loved ones, I don't care about you. Don't take me wrong, but I don't care about you, other than have a yes or no. Do you understand what's coming from spirit? So I'll put my attention to spirit.
That doesn't interfere in any way? They don't clash?
No. It's about now you're talking to me. If you're turning around and talk to Matt, I'm out of the way. To explain simply, you understand that? So for me, that's kind of easy to separate, but that's only because I've been working with it. And sometimes we had a chat on the Wednesday, about this, about the difference. If we're saying, oh, I don't want to work with psychic, I only want to work with mediumship. But if you never try to work with psychic, how do you know the difference? Yeah. So it's in our development, in our journey through building our mediumship. It's important that we look at the psychic part as well, because that's a way we are getting to know the different, learn the different. And a recipient, sometimes we can feel it. I can myself, I know. Often we will be able to feel the presence of spirit, but I can tell you sometimes if somebody is tapping in the psychic on me, it feels like somebody within my energy. I can feel it in my energy. I'm like, whoa, don't do that. I don't want that. So if we are a little bit sensitive and a little bit aware of it, sometimes we can actually feel it. Sometimes it feels quite physical on my body. and it's actually quite unpleasant. What we have to remember here is, bring me to another, what we have to remember, a good psychic can read our energy, and within our energy field, there is all about our life. There's a full diary of our life, but there are also all the memories we have of our loved one that has gone to spirit. So tapping into our energy, a good psychic can say, oh, I can see you, mom, standing behind you. And think about that phrase. Often when mediums are using that phrase, they're reading the energy of the recipient because they have the attention in your energy. I don't know about yours, but I know when I work with spirit, spirit is not down there, they're here because it's here I'm talking with them.
But I presume it varies with different mediums.
It does, definitely, and we are all different. But the case is a good psychic can read your energy, read your memories of your loved ones, can describe your loved ones. That's evidence for them being a good psychic. But through that, they can't build this healing house I'm talking about, because spirit is not involved. And maybe spirits are partly involved and partly on psychic. It will be a little bit wobbly then. Maybe we won't have the roof on then. Yeah? Understand that? When I put it that way? So it's practice as a medium, as a psychic. It's a practice. It's a learning process to where do I get the information from. We are using the same senses, our ability to see, hear, feel, taste and smell spiritual energies. But we can do it on you as a human being, but we can have that interaction with the spirit world as well. I hope that answered.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
This is a question for both you and Frederick.
Yeah.
I may have the answer in my head already, but I just want to clarify. Frederick basically said that there's no barriers within mediumship, whatever country you're in or whatever. You're a Dane, Frederick is Swedish, and you're here in England getting messages. Are they coming to you in English? Are they coming to you in Danish? Or are they coming to you in Swedish?
Sign language.
Yeah. I'm mostly getting mine in Russian, but that. No. No. The case is, I know many people think spirit is coming here. Blah, 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 blah. They're not really. They're not really, and we have to look at the faculties within the way we're using our senses. Spirit is coming with an energy. They're not coming talking to us, not coming showing us a picture. They're coming with an energy, and we use our senses, our ability to see, hear, and feel them, taste and smell what they bring through. I've learned not to say taste and smell them, but what they bring through. And in that we are translating that energy into words that hopefully will be understood. And that's a part of the development as a medium, to learn to put the right words on.
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah.
About translating the messages.
Yeah. Simply translating that energy into words. Slightly different from when Mark is doing a translation. He allow his guide to use his voice box. There will be can be a bit of interference still, but it's more direct talk from his guide. But when we are working with the evidential, we are, through our conscious mind, creating the words that we're giving to our recipient or our clients. So in that, I used to say it's a little bit Google Translate. We all know Google Translate, doesn't we? Most of the time it works perfectly fine, and sometimes you just think, what is that? And that's mediumship, basically. And I said, no medium will never be 100%. I don't believe that a possibility. Can we get to 90%? We are good. So it's there's always a bit of interference with the medium. There's can be a little misunderstanding in that translation. Sometimes it's just because we are phrasing different, and sometimes we can say one thing, but we use different words that the recipient would. So the recipient would say no. Then we can say exactly the same thing with different words. Oh yes, that's just point on. But I said exactly the same as I did before. Just use different words. So it's this. When we're working with mediumship, it is really this connection between two worlds, and with that third part as a medium. I don't want to call it a communication triangle there, but that can happen within that healing house as well. But we need all that to create that moment, that magical moment.
Thank you.
So it is that translation from energy into words. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
What did you mean earlier when you said people suffer?
Oh, it's like, where's the cat? No. No, it can. To me, sometimes can feel like a cat is scratching me. It's just this uncomfortable feeling, and we'll probably all feel it slightly different. But it's just this awareness of, oh, somebody is within my energy and searching for something.
Can they take it away from you?
Serenity. Basically, yes, I can. Okay, without being too technical, but we have this energy of our own, this magnetic field. We can work with that ourselves. We can expand it where we are expanding our awareness. That's basically what we are doing when we're working psychic or mediumistic. We're expanding, like blowing up a balloon. But we can also bring close. And you all know what happens with a balloon when you take out the air out. It's been quite hard to break. And when we bring in our energy totally close to ourselves, it's simple, not always easy, it can take a bit of practice. But when we bring it all the way out in there, it can be really hard for a psychic to get through it because it becomes quite a hard shell. So yeah, we can, but sometimes it takes a little bit of practice. I don't know, understanding how our own energy field is working. Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
So thank you very much, Jack, for your wonderful talk. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have another short break before our journey continues back to Poole from Denmark. So 10 minutes pause, then we're back in here again. Thank you.